Okay, Fight fans, this is a special episode today. Two ladies that are friends of the room, and they on with us together. This is called the Face Off, more like a Zoom off because they're not in the same room, right? But Heather Hardey and Amanda Serrano, thank you for joining us.
What's up, champs? How y'all doing?
Thanks for having me.
Look, we know we're not going to get no like vicious smack talking with you girls, but we wanted to have you.
I mean, you never know. If we tell Serrano what Heather said behind her back, you never know. Just talking a lot of crap if you wasn't here, you know.
You know, I don't talk outside the ring. I talk in the ring. So you're never gonna hear me say anything bad about my opponents. I respect each and every of my opponents, no matter who they are. I respect whoever goes in that ring. I do all my talking in the ring.
But there has to be throughout you have a lot of fights, Amanda, right? And I'll ask you the same thing, Heather, afterwards. Is there one opponent that stands out to you that you genuinely didn't like and you kind of got outside of your character and maybe talked a little more than you normally do?
Well, I didn't, like I said, I didn't talk outside the ring. There was one girl, Puerto Rican like me. She was, they had to be the most meanest person that I've ever faced. Like, and she was so cocky. She would say she was gonna knock me out.
Well, was that Mercado? Who was that?
No, Carlo Torres.
Oh,
wow. That fight lasted 59 seconds. Because she was a good fighter. She had actually beat Veronica Jeffries, right? Yeah, and then people were like, "Oh, you fighting the best girl out of Brooklyn, New York." And she was like, "No, I already beat the best girl in New York, Veronica Jeffries. Amanda, she's gonna be laying on her back." I was like, and in the weigh-in, she was like, you know me, in the weigh-in, I'm looking at my opponent, I'm chewing my gum, and then I look to the side. She stood there with her fist in my face. I was like, and Jordan was like, I'm like, oh, I'm cool. I'm like, Jordan was like, Amanda, all that boxing I taught you goes out the window. I don't want to hear nothing. You're gonna go right through her, and that's exactly what I did. It lasted 59 seconds. So that's the only bad encounter I had with an opponent. I mean, I guess
She got under your skin a little bit. What about you, Heather? Is there anybody that stands out to you that you didn't like?
I don't know that I didn't like her, but Shelly Vincent, I had to tell myself that little never quit every day.
That's true.
Putting pictures up on social media, talking, and I knew at the time that Lou was telling her hype the fight, get people excited, we want to get you on TV, blah, blah, blah. And she just had such a big mouth. And every day my sister would call me and be like, we will get in the car, we can be there in 3 hours. And it's over right now. And you got to stay focused. We got to get this money. We got to get this bread. We're going to put her in the ring, I mean, not to say I didn't like her, but she was annoying.
She got on your nerves.
Yeah. She's creative. She's creative, that's for sure.
It was entertaining though. It was pretty entertaining.
It was.
Everybody else.
I could imagine, but it was I was like, oh my God, wait till Heather gets that girl.
Every day I was like,
All right, so girls, I want to know, why is this rematch necessary? I kind of like what I heard you said earlier, Serrano, but I want to know, why do you think this rematch is necessary and the people want to see it? Starting with you, Amanda.
Well, okay, Heather, of course, she gave me the opportunity to fight her for the WBO, and that was after I won the 115, and I decided I was done with divisions. I said, 7 is max for me, so I wanted to go back where I felt comfortable. I felt my best was at featherweight, and I'm the WBO super champion. So Heather was the WBO champion at the time. So nothing out of disrespect, I get called out Heather Hardey because I wanted to go there. And unlike any other champions who had titles that I asked to fight, they vacated their titles or they just didn't agree with the amount of money they were getting. So I had to fight for vacant titles. But most of my belts did have champions in them. But Heather, as the tough woman that she is, as a warrior, she said, I'll take the fight. And I was like, yes, because there's nothing better than beating the champion. It's something different. So when she agreed, I knew she's a tough girl. We sparred a couple of times. She was the only one that actually came back a couple of times to spar. And then she took the fight. So, and after I won, she wanted the opportunity. I know she had mentioned in a tweet, actually, and after one of her fights, that she would like another opportunity at the belt at either featherweight, 130, 135. So, I said, we have this fight after my fight in February. This is not a mandatory defense. We're volunteering that, and I wanted to be on that card with Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. That's an amazing card. So I said, I called up Jake and Nakisa. I said, I want to be on that card. Let's do it. And then I mentioned Heather. You know, we actually, me and Heather was the one. I was texting her, negotiating the fight. I was letting her know what she was getting. It was between two women, two athletes, two professionals. That, you know, I have no hatred towards Heather. This is a business, and I'm glad that she's making good money. I'm making good money, and we're just gonna have fun afterwards. Have some. Well, I don't drink, but have some burgers.
I have one for you.
Okay,
Yo,
have it for
but
me.
Heather, I know that at one time when you came back, you was like, 126 will never see me again. At least that's what I thought you were saying. But this is a great opportunity. What was going through your head when she texted you that first time? Hey girl, what's up? Let's do this.
Well, I'll be honest. I put out the tweet knowing that I didn't want to end my career just doing small local shows. Like, I felt like, you know, I spent a year in 2022 with Hector Roca, and every day he convinced me that I could go for a world title again, that I still had it in me, that I needed to correct some things and fix my boxing, change my boxing. But, you know, if I stuck with him, that I'll be good. And he's been every day just building me back up, not just as a fighter, but as a woman, as a mother, like as in every single way. So after he passed away, I just thought, you know, I got to do this for him, which is why I asked Tom Jabasi to write an article. Because like I'm like Amanda, I don't disrespect no women in the sport, whether I like them or not, you know. I just asked him to write the article to say, maybe one of them will give me a chance. And Amanda was the first one to be like, you know, I got you. And it goes so much deeper than just Amanda. I gave Amanda the first title defense because Cindy was the one who vacated that title when she retired for me to be able to fight for it. And Jordan was the one who kind of orchestrated my fight with, I have goosebumps just thinking about how intertwined our careers really have been since 2012. Right. Jordan was the one who orchestrated that. Cindy, you know, vacated the belt and gave me the opportunity to fight Shelly Vincent for it. So it's kind of just gone like one step, you know?
You know, Heather, you mentioned Hector Roca, and just so if you could briefly touch it, I'm pretty sure you've been asked these questions, but I know Hector since I was 10 years old because I grew up training in Gleason's gym a very long time ago. And I want to know what has he meant to you, and how hard was that, obviously, that loss, like in your boxing career? Like what's some of the things that you can take with you forever that you learned from him?
One thing he told me every day was that he told me I was beautiful every day. And I was different than every other girl who walked in the gym because I was the only one he didn't flirt with. The only one. Like, I've been his daughter since day one. It's always been, I'm his baby, respect yourself. You know, he always put me on that platform. So he's been Papa to me for, 12, 13 years. But on top of that, every day he told me I was beautiful. And he said, stay beautiful. You have to be happy, and to be happy, you have to be strong. And what he meant by that was that you have to only keep people around you who want you to be happy and want to see you do well, you know? And that is the seed that he put inside me. Not just being in my face about boxing. Anybody who knows Hector knows you do this 100,000 times until he says, no good, it's right. But he made me believe in me because he did.
Wow.
So
That's
this is for him.
Beautiful. All right, here comes the tough questions. I'm sorry. This is it. I'm going to decide who I'm going to ask first, but...
Well, when you going to ask it?
It's tough for me to even ask it. It's tough for me to even ask it. I don't know. I got more respect for women, I guess. But I've always felt this, and maybe I'll start with Amanda, I guess. I've always felt this, that there's a Brooklyn crew of females, of great fighting females, women who have been champion or are champions, and they love each other. They support each other. They're always there for each other, but I never really saw them supporting Amanda Serrano. Amanda, do you feel that way?
I mean, you know what? I really, in boxing, it's like, it's a one man, woman sport. You know, I have my crew. My team is Jordan, and my sister. Now I have Jake and Akisa, but it's always been for years. It's always been Jordan and my sister, always by my side, and that's what it is. You know, I never wanted to claim Brooklyn. That's not what I do. You know, I'm a proud Puerto Rican, so I'm a Boricua at heart. I will rep Puerto Rico till I die. But I don't know. You know, not that I even cared, but yeah, I did notice that. I mean, Heather was at one time when she was the only one from like Gleason's or a Brooklyn Knight like me, just we were supporting each other, and I would get sparring with her. And then, but to me, it really didn't matter. Like I said, once I go in that ring, I'm by myself. It's just me. It's me and my opponent, and I'll have fans in the crowd cheering me on or booing me.
So in other words, all them Brooklyn girls were hating. That's it. That's what you're saying, Barak?
I mean, I didn't say that.
I don't know.
No,
but I know that. Listen, I bet you I know who is saying that. His name is Jordan. I bet you Jordan says all the things that maybe you don't say.
You like can't have the headphones on because Jordan can't hear you right now.
No, but I bet if Jordan could hear me, he'd say, "You're damn right."
Yeah. He's looking at me right now. He's shaking his head.
He's like,
why he's shaking his head?
Look at him. He don't even hear him. He's mad. No, but okay, but Heather.
But you know what? No. Honest to God, you know, another reason why I chose Heather for this fight, because people don't know we've been in this game from the very beginning, where we were making nothing. Like I was making just the other day, I was still making $1,500 for being a multiple division world champion. People don't understand the backstory. And Heather's been in the very beginning. Heather was the first lady of the Bella. Heather was the one who opened the doors for girls to fight at the Barclays Center. She's fought there the girl who fought the most there. And I was able to follow her footsteps and fight at the Barclays Center, make history at the Barclays Center as well. So, you know, people don't know the relationship that I have with these pioneers in the sport. You know, just because you're just coming up in the sport doesn't mean that you have authority to, I want that fight. You know, right. I said before, this is a voluntary fight. I don't have to defend my titles. I just fought in February. So I'm giving Heather the opportunity because I think she deserves it.
Heather, I was one of those people that stood there in the Barclays after the main event and used the swing bout, even though you've been champ already. And nobody's there. I was one of those people that was supporting you because I believe in you too, and I think you're a great fighter.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was there when they opened the doors at the Barclays Center, and Heather is in the ring fighting, and there was like maybe 20 people there. You know, that's why
$40,000 in tickets for that.
Exactly. Fight. So that's why I feel we fought hard. Like people don't understand. We fought really hard for ourselves to promote ourselves, and Heather was #1 girl in Brooklyn, going to pubs, like wherever she has to go to promote herself, to sell these tickets. And, you know, my hat goes off to her, you know.
At the end of the day, yes, I loved Heather and I loved you, but then I didn't see everybody supporting you, and I saw everybody supporting each other, all the other females. So Heather, I wanted to know, you know, from your vantage point, was that the case? Do you think that, maybe not you, because she said that at one time you were supporting her, do you see that New York, Brooklyn really wasn't supporting Amanda Serrano on her journey?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't notice that. Amanda been solo, like she said, her whole career, she's stuck at Jordan. Like, I always felt like I was lucky that Jordan liked me because he would let me come over and spar with our team and talk to them and like kind of, you know, learn from them when I was first coming up. I'm a little different because I came up in Gleason's. Gleason's was the only boxing gym I ever went to. So the same girls like really weren't close to me in the beginning either. Like it took me a lot of time and a lot of proving myself. And I think that goes with whether it's men or women who are in competition with each other. We came up in a time in the early 2000s, 2010s, that only one woman got a chance at a time. There wasn't spotlight for everybody. They said only one of you could be on the shows. And whether it was me or Amanda, everybody's looking at us like, why them, you know? But it's like she said, we were the ones at pubs, at selling tickets, like hustling, doing all that stuff on the side, just to get this much, you know, $50 around. Like she said, $1,500.
So Heather, you brought that up, and I want to give people a perspective of what you did, selling $40,000 in tickets, and what was your purse for that fight, if you don't mind me asking?
I remember the numbers for this because it's probably one of the worst ones. I was defending my WBC title. I had a sponsor for the first time, a protein company, a big one. They had people coming in for me. I want to say I was supposed to fight right before the main card, so like finally in front of people, and they switched everything like an hour before the fight and had me fight first. And I'll never forget this. You know, Girl on Fire was playing, and I walked outside, and not one person was there to clap their hands for me. So I'm now 17-1 or 16-1 or something, walking through. I got my crew holding my WBC belt that I was fighting for, so $40,000 in tickets, and fought in an empty Barclays Center. And I want to say I made $7,000 for that fight.
Wow.
And that was the day I decided to sign with Bellator and do the MMA, because I just thought, no matter how much I love boxing, they'll never love me back.
Oh my God. Damn.
Wow, make me tear up here.
I wanted one of y'all to cry and curse each other out. I didn't want to be the one crying. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, my goodness.
Because that's where the respect comes from. Like we know what
Exactly.
it's like, you know, like this is more than boxing. We didn't get to just go in the gym and train and be good. We had to sell tickets. We had to do interviews. We had to take pictures. We had to put makeup and dresses on and be girls after we coming out of the gym wanting to go home, you know, like this
Right.
2008 to 2016-ish was like begging for a spot,
well, listen,
no
I'm
matter
happy.
how many times.
And people don't realize, people don't realize that we're the pioneers in the sport. You know, we help those. Of course, the Olympians coming up in the pro ranks did help it, but we were there when there was nothing. And let's not talk about my sister when she started fighting. Like it was just times have changed. And right now, thank God it's getting better. The pays are getting better. The opportunities are getting better. People are acknowledging us, so it's getting a lot better. But people forget about those girls that we struggle. I am super honored and blessed that Jay came into my career at this time where I can honestly say that I have something that I can say. I did boxing, and look at what it's given me. If it was a couple of years ago, I was going to retire and I was going to have nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, was there a
just
point
my legacy
before Jake got? I mean, obviously you accomplished enough before Jake stepped in. Was you that close to just hanging the gloves up?
Oh yeah, every other day. One day it was me, one day it was Jordan. There was no light at the end of the tunnel in this sport. And now that I'm glad that we're finally getting to see the fruits of our labor. Like we're working hard. The money is so much better. And I'm getting paid. I'm a millionaire, so I got paid a lot, and I'm getting paid very, very, very good for now. And I'm just glad that, honestly, that Jake came into my career 2 years ago, because I was honestly gonna retire.
Like you've earned that, and praise God that you got to that point. Now let's get to some X's and O's, because look, obviously you're going into this fight as a favorite, Amanda, but we know that you guys are friends, you respect one another, but Heather doesn't go anywhere to lose. So Heather, what are you going to do different to make the outcome different from the first time?
So they say that insanity is when you do the same thing and expect it to come out. So,
Amen.
There was definitely have a different team behind me, a whole different team in the corner. I have been trying to clean up. I spent a year with Hector cleaning up my boxing, you know, technical things, boring things like, you know, not leaning forward, things like that, like real, like annoying things that he would be just in my ear over and over and over. And I would say, like, I put 1 year of school in, and now the practice is coming out. I had those 2 little fights in New York where you saw little changes in my boxing, but not so much. And I mean, this is the big test. If there's one thing I can do is learn on the job. And everybody know I'm tough. We don't got to say that. I don't got to write that down. Everybody knows I'm tough. And the other thing is, I know what I'm up against. You know, we know Amanda can punch. We know Amanda can box. We know she fights when she wants to fight. She boxes when she wants to box. So the idea is I got to go in there and just be ready to fight. And I will. Right.
So I want to know, I mean, yes, we do know you're tough. We seen, I think I posted that bloody picture of you at the MMA fight. Like, you are blood and guts for sure. I want to know your opinion on Katie Taylor moving up to 140 and losing to Chantel Cameron. What was your thoughts on that?
That's none of my business. I don't really make my career to judge what people do with their time or money or nothing, you know, like this to me is a lot different than a lot of girls. I got no shame in saying that this is my job, right? Like I've been raising a little girl who's now in college. So everything I do in the sport is for the money. Not to say I don't come to win, but I come to get paid. Right. And if that was me and they was like, go up to this weight and we make you a lot of money and you can fight at home. Hell, if I'm gonna say no, I changed sports. They asked me to do an MMA fight. They was like, you want to do an MMA fight at the Garden? I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? If the money's right, you got to do it. So she must have had something in her heart that she wanted to.
Amanda, obviously you wanted to be the first one to take that O away from Katie Taylor.
Officially, yes.
Yeah. So how did you feel when she
Oh, she said officially, Barak, you heard that? She said, oh, she wanted it officially, so unofficially.
No, I get it. No, trust me. I know what you mean because a lot of people were saying you won. But how did you feel? You was probably rooting for her.
Of course, selfishly, I was rooting for her because, you know, the rematch was definitely in the talks. But you know what? When she chose Cameron, I said she's up for a big task. You know, Cameron is a big girl. She's a great fighter as well. And I was like, there's a chance that we will never get that rematch. And we understood that. And my health came first. I had to make sure that I was fully healed. And I was watching it. So like I said, like I was rooting for Katie, but I knew Cameron. I'm a fan of Cameron as well. We're good friends. And it was just like, wow. Like, I mean, like I said before, and I'm going to continue to say, I hope that Katie comes back mentally prepared. And I know she's going to come physically prepared because she's a hard worker and that's all she does is work hard, and boxing is her life.
Well, is that rematch still in conversations?
Honestly, I don't know.
Taylor.
Honestly, I don't know. Right now, I just want to continue with my career. I have my fight with Heather in August, and then hopefully in the future get my homecoming, being undisputed champion, fighting in Puerto Rico.
But is that something you still want, though, Amanda? Is that a fight you still want, or you don't really care?
You know, honestly, right now, it doesn't really matter to me because if she takes the rematch with Chantel and Chantel beats her again, it makes no sense for me to fight her again. And I don't think Eddie is gonna want her to lose 3 fights in a row. So I don't think that will happen. So
August 5th, pay-per-view.
Yes.
All right. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz are on the main event, and you girls on a co-main. I hope the fight is not as nice as this face-off, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to.
You know it's not going to.
Neither one of them are nice in the ring. Neither one of them.
Exactly. We're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring it like we always do. You know,
like we know Heather's not to prove. We got something to prove.
No exactly. Doubt. Heather's not gonna back down. I'm not backing down. It's just gonna be a great fight. And Heather, you know, we gotta steal the show because we gotta steal it from the men. Once again, we did it before at Hulu Theater, being the co-main event, where we was like, we had to push for that, and we accidentally got co-main event, but we put on a hell of a show. Everybody was there to see us. We sold that. We promoted. We sold those tickets, and we showed that we can fight.
Oh, them
and
people
we put on
in
a
Dallas.
Great fight.
Those Dallas fans are in for a treat for that co-main event. They're going to get a show, no doubt about it. We'll be there front center. Good luck to both of you ladies. We can't wait to see this on August 5th. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Introducing the new DAZN Boxing Show podcast. No matter the time or the place, getting your boxing content has become easier than ever. Tune in as we give you exclusive insights, predictions, fight night recaps, and more alongside the biggest names in the game. All for free. Available globally every Thursday across all audio streaming platforms and with new episodes dropping weekly to give you the latest news. Just type in the DAZN Boxing Show podcast, listen in, and enjoy.